Okay everyone, I'm going to quickly show you how to mix some different skin tones. So I have a cadmium yellow deep, a red, and an ultramarine blue, and some white. Now you can use whatever yellow you have. I have two yellows. I have a lemon yellow and I have a darker yellow, which is more like mustardy color. And so I'm going to make a skin tone using these four colors. And I'm just going to experiment with like different shades and tints. So I'm going to start by mixing the yellow. I have my sponge here. And then some red. Now already I've used too much red. That red is so powerful that it really overpowers that yellow. So that orange is really hard to see. So now I have an orange, which actually appears lighter on the screen than it does when I'm looking at it, so that's good. Then I'm taking some some blue. And this is kind of where the experimenting comes in. So I realize I should be probably using my palette knife, might be easier. So you see that green color? You're trying to get to like a brown. And it just takes a little bit of experimentation to kind of figure out how to get that color that you want. And again, depending on the brand of paint you have, these proportions could be different, right? I have a really kind of basic brand from the art store. So, you know, my colors will be a little different than maybe your colors if you got a different brand. So you can see it's starting to come together as a brown. And you can lighten it with white, but also you should know, people aren't white, people are shades of brown, meaning you're going to also want to consider adding yellow or more blue depending on how dark or light you are. And again, this is an experiment. Nobody's asking you to get your exact skin color. That would just be kind of boring. I mean, to me, it's painting, so you always want to play around with color and the proportions, and you know, it doesn't have to be on the money. You want to kind of play around. So here's a good place to start. And some people are a little bit more pink. Like I have pink undertones in my skin, and I get really red if I'm in the sun too long. Where my friend also burns, but her undertones are more orangey. So it just really depends on, you know, skin color is so specific and so individual. And again, like I'm saying, we're not trying to get this perfect. I really just want you to learn how to actually mix a color without using the tube color. So how do you make a brown without using brown? You easily could have used burnt umber, but instead you're making something a lot richer. Okay? And so what you're going to do next, after you make that, you're going to make a few self-portrait sketches. Now, I'm using a really small watercolor paper in kind of an awkward shape because I just have this laying around my studio. You can use your canvas pad, and you can use different size brushes. You can use your palette knife. You can really just, I want you to just make 3 different sketches. And again, you can also use your, oh, sorry for that flash of light. You can also use your matte medium, or you can just add water to your paint, which I would suggest when we're working on sketches, you want to use a lot of washy colors because you want it to be fast. You want the paint to move. And I have some really crappy choices of brushes because I just need to get some new ones. So I have a mirror up here. This is a mirror right here. So I'm actually looking at myself, even though you can't see it on camera. The setup I have doesn't really allow for a full picture of my setup, but I am looking at myself. I'm going to add a little bit of white. And I'm going in, and all my dark shadows, I'm using this blue. And I'm going to outline some of my features. Just using this blue to kind of draw it in. And this is acrylic, so this is going to dry really fast. So I can go back in over it. But these are just little sketches to kind of get you used to looking at yourself and drawing what you see. Just looking at the placement of the face, placement of the features, I mean. And you can start to see it's coming together. The object of this is not to make the painting look like you. That's a high goal. This isn't a figure drawing class. This is a beginning painter class that was literally 6 weeks. And so we're really going to, I really just want you guys to try this because I feel it's important. I could very easily just ask you to do something a little easier, but I really think it's important to challenge ourselves in painting all aspects and like all kind of genres. So we have to kind of try the figure here. So I'm filling that in. Then I can go over it with my knife. And you saw how fast I was doing things. And now I can go in with a smaller brush. I'm going to go in looking at the shape of my eyes. You always have multiple shapes. You have the eyeball, you have the iris, you have the eyelid. Going in, kind of drawing out my features. Now, I didn't even get to the hair. And again, this is a really small paper that I'm working on. So this is just one quick study. We're going to do 3 of them, and I'm going to go over more of that in class.